Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're gonna follow the money. And this trail starts with something as simple as a concert ticket, but it leads us right into the heart of Mexican politics, exposing a massive scheme. And it was all found just by looking at public documents. So, let's kick things off with a fact that might surprise you, but it's completely true and it's written right into Mexican law. The original idea was to give political parties a way to raise their own money, to fund their activities. But as you're about to see, what started as a simple tax break, well, it gets a whole lot messier. So, this all comes from a law known as COFEPE, and its purpose, on paper, was actually pretty noble. It created this tax exemption so parties could legally self-finance by holding events, concerts, festivals, you name it. It was all about promoting financial independence. Okay, so that's the idea, but the big question is that what's actually happening? Because this is where our investigation really begins. When you start digging into the official numbers from city records, a huge mystery just pops up. The money trail doesn't just get muddy, in some cases it vanishes completely. To see what I mean, let's just zero in on one key piece of evidence. It's an official city audit from León, Guanajuato. Now, this audit looked at events way back in 2010, but what it uncovered was absolutely explosive. And you've got to remember, we're just talking about a small sample of events in one city. But even here, auditors found that several major political parties were listed as the organizers for huge concerts, bringing in just enormous amounts of revenue, over 100 million pesos in total. I mean, just look at that number. In this one sample, a single political party, PAN, was tied to nearly 86 million pesos in revenue. To put that in perspective, we're talking millions and millions of dollars from just a handful of concerts in one city in a single year. So naturally, you have to ask, where did all that money go? I mean, if a political party really earned this cash for fundraising, it has to show up somewhere, right? It should be in their official bank accounts, all reported neatly to the national election authorities. But was it? To figure out where the money really went, we have to first understand the scheme that these auditors in León uncovered. It's a mechanism that uses the law as a kind of shield for something else entirely. Okay, so at its heart, part one of this is just plain old tax evasion. The public is losing out on millions in tax dollars that should be funding things like roads and schools. But how they're doing it is the really clever part. So here's the playbook. The auditors figured out that the political parties weren't really organizing anything at all. Instead, what they were doing was renting out their name and their tax-exempt status to private concert promoters for a fee. Little kickback on the side, what they call a moche in Mexico. And look, this isn't just us guessing. The official audit report from León calls it out directly. They use the word simulation. The whole thing was a front, a charade, set up so private promoters could rake in the profits while almost none of it ever made it to the party's official bank accounts. But this is where the whole thing just completely falls apart for them. The deception becomes crystal clear when you put two official documents side by side, the city's local audit and the party's own national financial reports that they are required by law to file. And here it is. This just lays it all out. On the left, you've got the local records showing one party earning over 85 million pesos. Then on the right, you have that exact same party's official report for the entire country. And what does it say? 0 events, 0 pesos. The two stories they don't add up. It's a flat-out contradiction. And you might be thinking, okay, but that's just one city, right? An anomaly? Well, no. The León audit wasn't some one-off thing. We have evidence from other states showing this was a well-known, widespread practice across Mexico, and officials knew all about it. I mean, listen to this. You really can't get a more direct admission. Here you have a top revenue official in Baja California basically saying, out loud, that yep, promoters are using political parties to dodge taxes. He actually said this while trying, and failing, to pass a reform to stop it. It was so common, they even had a fancy, corporate-sounding name for it. Check out this official document. They called it fiscal plannings, which, let's be honest, is a pretty nice-sounding euphemism for organized tax fraud, isn't it? Okay, so why does all this matter? I mean, tax fraud is bad, obviously, but this goes so much deeper. This scheme creates a shadow financial system, an off-the-books pipeline for cash that opens the door to some really, really dangerous stuff that strikes at the heart of democracy.
Let's just tick off the consequences here. First, you've got a huge loss of public tax money. Then you have this giant, unaccountable slush fund of cash floating around. It also creates a monopoly in the entertainment world. I mean, how can an honest promoter compete with someone paying zero tax? And think about the artists. Are you really going to criticize the same political party that's basically signing your paycheck?
But this is the most alarming part of all. Because this money is completely off the books, it's the perfect way to launder dirty money. We're talking about a channel to pump illicit funds from organized crime, corrupt officials, maybe even from foreign powers, straight into Mexico's political system, all hidden behind concert ticket sales. So at the end of the day, what we have is this giant gap between two different sets of official public documents. And it just shatters any sense of transparency and accountability. It leaves citizens to wonder, if the official records don't match up, who can you possibly trust? And if this is what we can find just sitting there in plain sight, what else is being hidden?